Good day, class. So we are now on the Module 11 of SSC125 module entitled this topic, Neutral and Social Networks. So let us find out first what are those objectives that we have. So at the end of this module, you are expected to identify the connections, relationships, and networks in their lives, processing their social relationships towards better integration in community, and critiquing various networks in their lives towards global awareness. So let's start with becoming a social and virtual network community. Digital communities have provided us with a variety of network modes of learning, collaborating, working, and teaching. The facilities of the digital and network world have the capacity to fundamentally transform our connections, relationships, work, and involvement in society. Many of our schools are shifting to the network mode, implementing a homeschool nexus that uses digital, software, hardware, and architecture for learning and teaching. We have long been taught that networking must contribute to society in meaningful way for the common good. With our exposure to digital technologies and social media, our networked communities have continued to transform our lives and relationships. Social networks are novel forms of collective action that promote values of solidarity, conviviality, empathy, and support. These network sites, regardless of varied perspective and definition, continue to be the online metropolis that fosters collaboration on a big scale never seen before. Social relationship and networking are key components of human life, yet are geographically and physically limited. These restrictions have been partially removed because of the internet revolution and diffusion of use. The network communities are significant megatrends that people and communities capitalize upon. What will become increasingly obvious with the network mode is its overall unified purpose, the interconnectedness of all within it, and the synergies of ideas being tested and shared. Through social networks, schools achieve a digital takeoff, significantly changing the nature of schooling to that of innovation and creativity. White communities are defined as shared and intimate emotional bonds between users may not be experienced and visible, but it is generally assumed that many members have personal attachments to some of their online friends. Virtual interpersonal organizations are encouraged by a mix of equipment and programming apparatuses that permit individuals to easily, immediately, all around, inoffensively, and defendably share data by collaborating. The social media users also have the freedom to select what information they would like to share publicly with others, whether these are documents, photos, status, or location. Today, these local networks are creating new platforms of social interaction and collaboration. Social networking sites empower users to exchange ideas through the multifunctions of these sites. Meanwhile, virtual commitments are social groups that demonstrate physiological or psychological and cultural qualities of community without physical closeness. Researchers assert that virtual worlds and social networks have long-term implications in shaping our lives. While it may be premature to assess the impact of social network and virtual worlds on society, virtual worlds are perceived as a little more than highly sophisticated computer games in a self-contained environment. Whether virtual worlds will be regarded as a form of escape and creation of artificial societies or beneficial tools innovation has yet to be determined. However, virtual worlds should be the latest expression of the Internet's unstoppable desire for change. The craving for the creation of fantasy or fantasy world or virtual self appears to be the natural extension of these social networks. Look at the Second Life platform, which is the most famous of all virtual worlds founded by Philip Rosedale. The user needs to understand the technology of the virtual world before they inhabit and build their identity. According to its founder, Second Life, as a vast digital content, is purely about living and socializing in an alternative reality as they create their avatars that communicate via text, chat, and voice. These virtual forums elicit self-expression and basic human desire to belong. Virtual creation aims to connect people and engage them in a different kind of interaction and dialogue. Virtual worlds provide users the ability to see and create the world as they would like it to be. Now let's move on to neural or neutral networks. Knowledge networks will transform the global economy. They will change the way we think, learn, and work. In the new economy, your network should be at the heart of your strategy, by Med Jones. Computers nowadays can process information considerably faster than human beings, but they are incapable of performing many of the same tasks that a human can easily perform. The introduction of neutral networks was initiated to provide solutions that cannot be easily reduced into simple steps. So here is the neutral networks components and types. With the advent of information and communications technology, humanity is challenged to use machines effectively to alleviate complicated tasks. Computers can now perform faster than human beings. Albert Pastor may not be equated to better problem solving. His simplest definition of a neural or neutral network, more properly referred to as an artificial neural network or ANN, is provided by the inventor of one of the network as a computing system made up of number of simple, highly interconnected processing elements which process information by their dynamic state response to external inputs. To transform computers to think like human, researchers and scientists continue to study and model the strength of the human brain. Since the human brain is too complex to stimulate, they studied the activities of individual cells that make up the human brain. According to Jeff Heaton, with his pioneering works on neural networks, identified the human brain as composed of neuron cells, the basic building blocks of the brain. The activities of these neuron cells are simulated by artificial neural networks that transmit and accept signals. The signals travels to the axon's terminals and is transmitted to other neurons or nerves. Now, according to David Rumelhart, a neural or neutral network generally consists of the following components. The first one, a set of processing units. Second, the state of activation of processing unit. Third, the function used to compute output of processing units. Fourth, the pattern of connectivity among processing units. Fifth, the rule of activation propagation. Next is the activation of functions. Last is the rule of learning employed. Okay, so now let's have some of the most well-known types of neural or neutral networks. So they are, number 1, competitive learning by Stephen Grossberg. Number 2, the Boltzmann machine by Jeffrey Hinton. 3, the Hopfield network by John Hopfield. 4, the Kohanen network by Teuvo Kohanen. 5. The Adaptive Resonance Theory, art, by Stephen Grossberg. And 6. The Backpropagation Neutral Networks by David Rumelhart. So there are many variants of neutral networks that are currently being used in many industries. These networks are used to solve specific types of problems that can be categorized as follows. Those are classification, prediction, pattern recognition, and optimization. In classification, neutral networks classify data into groups and categories and learn the characteristics of the identified group. In prediction, neutral networks predict future values in a time-based series of data. In pattern recognition, when neutral networks classify data into groups, they do it through pattern recognition. In optimization, neutral networks provide optimal solutions that are acceptable to many different problems. So for your activity, kindly answer or do this activity 1. This is map or social mapping. Create a social map using the online map. Okay, here is the link. You can copy this. That traces the various roles that students play in the community or family members, community leader, among others, and rank the significance of the roles played with the community. So example photo of map app is this, and this is for 20 points. For activity 2, this is a reflection paper, so just explain the statement below, and each statement is equivalent of 10 points each. And for the module 3, assessment number 3, so we have the multiple choice. Read the statement carefully and choose the best answer. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you enjoy listening and enjoy answering your modules and activities. So again, thank you so much for listening. Goodbye, everyone.